Hey, you guys. Hey, come on in, and let's talk. Let's talk about tips on how to lose your love handles in menopause. That's what I want to talk about today. How to lose your love handles in menopause. That's a picture of me. And I was younger than, I'm 51 years old now, so I was a little bit younger then. I think I was like about, let's see, that picture is from 2019. So it's 2024. It's 5 years ago. I was probably about 46, 47 years old at that time. But I want to let you know that there are two tips on how to lose your love handles during menopause. It is not over for you once you reach menopause. I'm currently perimenopausal right now. So I want to offer you these two tips. And this is where you likely need to start. It is going to be diet and your training. Let's talk about your diet. Do you know where your calorie intake is? Because the one thing that you need to do is create a what? Yeah, a calorie deficit. If you don't know how many calories you're taking in during the day, you're not being accountable for your calories. That is likely where you need to start. And what I'm going to come back and do is I'm going to leave a link. So I'm here to help you. I'm going to leave a link so that you can go out to the calorie calculator and get a rough estimate of how many calories you need to be taking in during the day in order to help you create this calorie deficit. It's really, really simple and easy to lose fat at any stage of your life when you have a plan. Not having a plan is like getting into your car and driving aimlessly. Eventually, you're going to run out of gas, you're going to give up and revert back to your old behaviors. I understand that. I've been there. Listen, I was a trainer in this picture. I was training twice a day. I would get up in the morning and I would go to my fitness studio. That is inside of the studio. At 5 a.m., I would drive in my car and I would train for 60 minutes, 2 hours a day. Then I would sit in my car and I would drive home. I would sit on my couch. I would have a cup of coffee. Then I would sit in my car. I would drive to work. I would sit all day. I had 2 locations. And then I would train another 60 minutes, 2 hours a day, 6 days per week. And then one day I looked in the mirror and I said, you know what? That is not what I'm going for. I am really going for this. This is what I'm going for, right? And I looked at my activity level, training. That's number 2. I thought because I was training 2 hours per day, I should magically get into shape. And don't get me wrong, I did get stronger, but I did not tone up. I didn't develop any muscles in my body. When I began to pay attention to my daily activity, exercise was a part of my day. I trained for 2 hours a day, 120 minutes, 2 hours, 60 minutes, twice a day, which was a part of my day. I looked at my daily steps and I was barely getting in 5,000 steps. And according to the 10,000 step per day project, we need at least 10,000 steps in order to be moderately active. 5,000 steps or less, according to the 10,000 steps project per day, I was sedentary, even though I was training 2 hours a day. I was leading a sedentary lifestyle as a trainer. Something magical happened when I noticed this sitting at my desk one day and I was looking at my step count. I was like, oh my God, I'm barely getting in 4,000 steps per day. Let me share with you what the magic was when I decided to be more active throughout the entire day. That is your daily activity. What you do in your entire day is your daily activity. Some magical things happened. My digestion improved. I started sleeping better. I lost over 40 pounds. It was some magical things started to happen when I decided to move my daily step count from 4,000 to 10,000. Now my goal, according to the 10,000 step per day project, in order to be highly active. When you go to the doctor says, are you sedentary? Are you moderately active? Are you highly active? I thought I was a highly active individual. I was not. According to the project, you need to be moving at least 12,500 steps per day in order to be considered highly active. That's what I do now. Do I hit it every single day? No, but I do get really, really close to it. And with that, I have managed to maintain, even take my calories up and maintain the physique that I was going to. Now, listen, you're on a channel of a woman who is a little bit more mature in age. So I'm 51 and I'm a little bit more mature physiologically, meaning my body has aged, right? I'm now 51. I'll be 52 in March. But I'm also here to say these two things help me reduce my back fat. All right. Now, my flanks. I know, right? I know you see people rowing, open flies, squeezing, and you continue to do all of that. Build muscle. However, on that picture, I carried too much body fat in order for my muscles to be revealed. So I had to start to focus on what is it that I'm doing. See, I was snacking on my way home, lots of fruits and vegetables. That's another thing. I'm vegan. By choice. I've been vegan since 2020. I've been vegan since 2020. And I was vegan in this picture, right? I was thinking about going vegan because that was like 2018. I forgot about that. Yeah. But I still look the same, before I decided to pay attention and become personally accountable for the amount of energy that I was taking into my body. I was eating pounds of grapes on the way home, tons of nuts on the way home from the studio, and sitting in my car, right? And then I would sit down on the couch all day long. All evening long and just relax. Food is energy. And when I developed this mindset of food is simply energy, you can really eat anything you want as long as it's in or within your daily activity. If it's within your daily activity, you can have it. Do I eat pizza from time to time? I do. Do I have vegan ice cream from time to time? I do. Yeah, I do. But I keep it within my daily activity. And here's what happens. Here's how, because you first have to understand how body fat comes onto the body, right? It comes onto the body because we overconsume calories and not enough expenditure. And that's what I was doing. Even though I worked out 2 hours a day, which was a part of my day, it was not my entire day. I was sedentary. So with the overconsumption of calories, my weight didn't change at all, even though I worked out twice a day. But when I started to become personally accountable and committed to my daily activity and what I was taking in and putting out, things changed immediately. Things began to change. So I'm going to drop a calorie calculator in this live so that you can go out. It's totally free. You can go out and you can get an idea based on some data, your height, your weight, your age, based on that data. And you can see, you want to go out and go to some of the fitness trackers, like MyFitnessPal. I have a private studio, so I have an app of my own that my clients use. But My Fat Secret is another one. Like I said, MyFitnessPal is one. So you simply want to begin to track what you're doing. No judgment. Who's judging you? Whether you have a pound of ice cream and a bottle of wine every night before bed, you want to track that. Whether you have a Big Mac or salad at lunch, you want to track that. No judgment. And here's why. Because you need to understand before you start restricting calories, right? Because there's a difference between restricting calories and a calorie deficit. Some people just cut calories. What I'm trying to keep you from doing is simply restricting calories without the understanding of what your body actually needs during the day. Because Coach Kim does not want you to end up in a place worse off. I don't want your body to adapt. There's a thing called adaptive thermogenesis, where your body will adapt to the amount of food and energy that you give it. And so when you revert and go back to eating the calories that you were, I don't want you to have body fat overshooting. I don't want you to overshoot weight gain. So this is what you do. You simply track. You take the app and you track for 1 week. And what you want to do is you may get a daily average. Maybe you're taking in 3,500 calories a day, 2,500 calories a day. But you want an average over the course of a week. Okay? And then you simply want to dial back. Maybe take 200 calories off of 2,500. And you want the other 250 in exercise. Then you're going into a caloric deficit based off of your needs, right? Everybody's needs are different. So some trainers would just put everybody on a 1,200 calorie deficit. No. Right? And then what happens is you're taught to avoid certain foods for 12 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks for a period of time. But what happens when you go back to your life, right? So this is a lifestyle studio. I teach lifestyle principles to women so that you can learn how to live for the rest of your life in the body that makes you feel good. All right, listen, I got to get to working out. So I'm going to drop that link down here in this live so that you can go out to the site and use the calorie calculator. Thank y'all.